1-0 up against bottom side Levante. But, as we mentioned, Levante have come from behind in recent weeks to get something from games. They need a win here in Pamplona. Can they produce at least 2 goals in the second half to get it? We'll find out after the break.
New York City, so much more than a city. The home of Cruz Vodka, where raw ingredients get distilled down to reach the top of the world, 5 times to be exact. That city that never sleeps, that vintage black. Pure New York in a bottle. Cruz, vintage black.
We've got you covered for all the soccer action. Best of all, it's data-free on the GBet app. GBet, powered by Gold Rush.
One 0 for Osasuna versus Levante.
The locals are happy at the break at El Sadar as Osasuna hold a 1-0 lead over Levante. That goal from Chimi Avila right at the end of the opening period, making the Osasuna fans enjoy their half-time drinks and snacks as they look towards securing 3 more points. It would be their 10th win of the season Levante, with just 3 wins this season, really have got a big 45 minutes coming up. Not just for the result of this game, but also for the feeling that it would leave behind. Of course, we're going into an international break after this weekend, and the last thing you want is to go into a break on a bad result, especially when morale is bound to already be fragile. So Levante desperately need to come back and not just get a draw here. They need to win this game. It'll be interesting to see, as their players head out, whether there are to be any half-time changes from Alessio Lisci, sending his players out early. That's normally indication of less than satisfaction from the coach's perspective. Send the players out early. Levante with a real tough run of games coming up after the break. They host Villarreal, then they host Barcelona, then a big game at Granada, one of the teams they might hope to catch. Then it's Sevilla, followed by the local derby against Valencia, and then Real Sociedad, and then Real Madrid. So a rotten run of games coming up for Levante, who trail to this goal, flighted in by Jimmy Avila. For his 5th of the season. Great to see him back to maybe his best now. Is he at the form that he showed before the 2 serious knee injuries that set his career back so much? He was heavily linked with a move to Barcelona and Atletico Madrid just over 2 years ago during the January transfer market, just before COVID, and that's when he suffered his first major injury. Osasuna stuck with him, and here's Budimir running through, but the pass from Moncayola is too heavy. I say Osasuna stuck with Avila, and here he is rewarding them, and he's giving it back in return as well. At the age of 28, he's possibly still got his peak years ahead of him. So there were no changes at the break from Levante, not in terms of personnel anyway, but maybe in terms of attitude. Need to be more positive. That first half, it felt like they were just sitting in the game. There's a lovely touch from Ruben Garcia. Darko Brasanac runs on and is brought down eventually by Pubil, who's going to get a yellow card. A shame for Osasuna that that attack couldn't develop, because it was a beautiful flick from Ruben Garcia. It allowed Brasanac to run on. If he'd been able to return the ball to Ruben Garcia, could have been a big threat, but Pubil making sure that couldn't happen. A free kick, though, for Osasuna. Always a threat from them. Ruben Garcia over the ball, and he will deliver. Doesn't get the angle that he wanted, and Cáceres can clear. Now Morales racing away. He's certain that he was fouled by Toro, but the referee allowing play to go. And Vetso has to put it out for a throw-in. Vidal, nice ball inside, helped on by Moncayola, and here's Budimir back to goal, assessing his options. Flicks it inside, and the deflection is cleared by Pepelu. Good header down from Toro, who's been a really steady presence all season in the centre of midfield. Just under 20,000 inside El Sadar today. Manu Sanchez sends in a cross. Dani Cardenas has to watch it after the deflection. It'll be a corner. And I'm not happy with the body language of Levante at the moment. There's heads down, trudging. There's not much energy out there. Doesn't look like there's much belief. This could be a very long second half if they don't lift themselves. And they certainly can't afford to concede again. Ruben Garcia drills and miss-hits it this time though. Confidence high after his goal. He dragged that well wide. Here is the goal again. Budimir finding Avila. 16.6% is the goal probability, taking into account the position of the defenders and the Cáceres. Gets the benefit of the doubt with the whistle. Free kick for Levante. Substitutes going through the motions for Osasuna. Kike, no doubt, will be coming on at some point in place of Budimir, who's trying to close down here. We also saw Iker Benito warming up, who made his debut last week at Camp Nou. Debut as in his first start, a youngster. See if he comes on again. Now here's a good flick from Roger to Morales. He's away. Morales into the area. Can he finish? No, it just gets beyond him at the end as Herrera comes out. And that's the first real threat we've seen from José Luis Morales. And will that lift Levante? Here's Cáceres sending in the cross. Roger battling for it. Malsa takes on the shot and it's well wide. A bit more intent there though from Levante, and it all came with the spark from their captain José Luis Morales. Lovely first time pass into his stride by Roger Martí. And he had the pace to get away from the defence even at the age of 34, coming back from injury. Just too heavy with the last touch. With 7 goals this season, Morales, as you would expect, is the leading scorer for Levante by quite some distance, actually. De Frutos and Roger with 4 apiece next. And a very disappointing contribution from Roberto Soldado, who's only got the 1 goal since he joined. And now the goalkeeper's way out and Budimir makes it 2-0. Calamity for Levante, playing themselves into trouble as they have done all season, and it's going to condemn them in the end, and it could well condemn them today. To complain, and then Cáceres
Looking for royalty-free music? Discover
Roger Martin. For Osasuna, it could turn into a thoroughly demoralising evening for them. As Herrera is careful here. We've seen they've moved into a 4-4-2 formation now. Oh, look at the space. No midfield. as it comes for the run of Toro, who doesn't get forward that far very often. And now it's Brasanac who forces his way onto the loose ball and slides it in. Darko Brasanac with a precise finish into the bottom corner. And Osasuna are running riot here against a very compliant Levante defence. A first goal of the season for Brasanac, who's been making those forward runs all day. He did so in the build-up to the first goal, but Levante had chances to clear here, didn't do so. And Brasanac was more determined, more purposeful, more precise to make it 3-0. Well, this has danger of turning into a rout now. The only thing probably that could prevent that is Osasuna deciding they've got enough and taking their foot off the gas, settling for what they've got. And it's going to be consecutive home wins for them for the first time this season. Their home form has been poor generally. They've been much better on their travels than they have at home. But now, after the victory over Villarreal a couple of weeks ago, it'll be consecutive wins at El Sadar. No foul as Nacho Vidal claims he was held back. Dani Gomez will try and pull one back. Slips, and Toro comes away with the ball and then is fouled by Dani Gomez. This is the first time that Osasuna have scored 3 at home this season. Last did so on the 11th of May in a 3-2 win over Cadiz. And those fans thoroughly enjoying it. Changes will be imminent. It'll almost certainly be Budimir who comes off for Kike. And the other player to come on will be Benito, another forward. More experience for him. Here's Bardi, steps onto his right foot and goes for goal. It's a good effort as well. The best that Levante have mustered all day. Grazed the top of the net as it flew over the bar. There was some frustration in that, I think, from Enis Bardi. And it's going to be Avila to make way for Benito. And indeed, Budimir off, Kike on. So changes in attack for Osasuna. And there's the ovation for Chimi, 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 they chant. Such a favourite with the fans. He will be delighted by the news of his new contract and even more delighted with his opening goal today. That opened the floodgates. Now Kike and Benito will look to get in on the act. Here they are combining quickly. Benito is just 19 years old, making only his 4th appearance. Yet to score his first senior goal. Will today be an opportunity for that? Pubil having to be careful, and he is, to make the clearance. Juan Cruz with Dani Gomez at his back. Turns away from the pressure. Malsa making the challenge and Levante have it back. Here's Bardi. Back to Vezzo. Sent long towards Dani Gomez. Herrera has that under control. It's been a very solid performance today from Juan Cruz and David Garcia at the back. That's well worked forward by Manu Sanchez, and now Brasanac will find Benito. Got Nacho Vidal storming in front of him. Benito's going to take on the shot, and not maybe the best option there. We had Vidal penetrating the penalty area. Kike already in the middle, waiting for a cross. And a rather powder puff effort in the end from Benito, but not lacking confidence, which is good to see in a young player. Vezzo to Son. Pressure being applied by Osasuna. Kike closing down here. It's back to Cardenas, who can loft it out. "20 minutes remain at El Sadar. Very comfortable evening so far for the hosts. Goals from Chimi Avila in the first half, then Ante Budimir and Darko Brasanac after defensive lapses in the second half. Levante's fight against relegation is starting to look rather hopeless. 9 games left after this one, and they will be at least 7 points adrift of safety, possibly more, depending on whether Mallorca can get anything at Espanyol tomorrow. Son feeds it inside to Bardi. Malsa able to hold off Vidal and Ruben Garcia. And here's Pepelu, nice work. Can he take on the shot? Well, he spreads it wide for Roger Martí. Good block by Manu Garcia, comes out for Pubil. Pepelu with the shot blocked by Toro. Consistent pressure applied though by Levante for maybe the first time today. And now there's lovely control by Bardi. He'll take on Vidal, and he does enough that Bardi can't get a meaningful ball into the box. Not easy to score against Osasuna, generally. They will have been very disappointed by the way that Barcelona found it very easy to score against them last week, but on the whole, they have one of the better defences, certainly of the teams outside the top 6 or 7. Scoring at the other end has been their weakness. They're the 3rd lowest scorers, or they were the 3rd lowest scorers coming into this game. They're not anymore with the 3 they've got today. They've overtaken Mallorca and Getafe. And they might get more. Here's Benito with the cross. Kike sends it over the top. He's asking for a corner, which he gets. Lovely cross from Iker Benito. And Kike ready to pounce. Was challenged well as he got the shot away. A corner from Moncayola, and met by the powerful header from Toro, who maybe will feel he should have done more. Cambio, says Lishi. Not sure to whom that was directed. Maybe Morales, who really a miracle that he's playing after only 2 weeks out with what seemed to be a serious injury. He is on the ball. Doesn't look like a player who wants to come off. Pubil. Laid back for Pepelu to strike. Blocked by Toro and then very calmly dealt with as he strides away. And here's Ruben Garcia. Brasanac again making a run forward. Back to Toro. Garcia looking to send it forward for Manu Sanchez, but it's out for the throw-in, and there will be the changes now. Roberto Soldado will come on, and so too Ale Cantero, as Enis Badi and Dani Gomez go off. So it's Gomez who must have picked up an injury. Having only just been on, he's explaining now what's wrong. Looks like a groin problem from the way he's holding himself. One assumes. As well worked down the left. Manu Sanchez can send in the cross. Kike! Hits the net, but the top of it with the volley. Sending it over the crossbar. Space in the middle for him, though, and another good chance going begging for Osasuna. Malsa's ball down the right for Ale Cantero. The substitute. Laid off by Soldado, Roger Bati, and they pulled one back. So that's a consolation at least for Levante. They're in no mood to celebrate it much. Roger Marti sliding it into the corner. A nice layoff from Soldado. 2 substitutes involved as Ale Cantero ran down the right. Soldado with the run to the near post and a good layoff. Precisely finished by Roger Marti into the corner. No chance for Sergio Herrera, although he nearly got there. And a glimmer, the faintest of glimmers for Levante. Very unlikely it will lead to a proper comeback, but you never know. Now changes for Osasuna. Oyer, Roberto Torres and Inigo Perez are coming on. So that's all 5 substitutions done now. There's Inigo Perez, who will go into midfield. Roberto Torres will go down the right wing. And Oyer will sit in midfield. Morales. Roger. Cantero. And it's just over the top. Well, now Levante maybe start to think perhaps we can get something out of this. If they'd scored then, well, the game would have been turned on its head. It was a good move with Morales and Roger Marti finding Cantero, who very nearly forced it past Sergio Herrera. Corner the outcome. Played to the far post. Herrera comes, drops it, but there was contact. And so free kick goes the way of Osasuna. Any kind of contact like that on a goalkeeper, you're always going to get a free kick whistled. To the final 12 minutes of normal time. Levante hoping that they can produce a stunning comeback here. Osasuna may well have more chances. Oyer to Roberto Torres. 2 of the recently introduced substitutes, and it's fed inside almost to the other one. Inigo Perez nearly onto that. Here's Toro with a good run. Still battling away for it. In the end, he just can't keep his balance. Oh, lovely play by Inigo to Kike. Stepping inside to shoot and send it wide. Well, this game has got more goals in it, there's no doubt about that. Levante are going for it, as they obviously have to, but Osasuna have had, what, 3 at least good chances to score their 4th goal in the last few minutes. And they might come forward again now. Inigo flicks it on to Benito. Good take from him. Now he tries to dance inside, but is challenged by Pubil. We didn't ever have the chance to just clarify those last 3 substitutions. They happened so quickly after the goal, and then there was a chance for Levante straight away. But just to confirm, Moncayola, Brasanac and Ruben Garcia went off as Roberto Torres, Oyer and Inigo Perez came on. You've seen Benito go over to the left-hand side with Roberto Torres in his inevitable position on the right. He's closing down here on Son, who clips it in. Good ball. Taken by Roger Marti, who then would have turned to shoot, but Manu Sanchez was aware of that. Well, these last few minutes, Levante have looked far more dangerous than any other time in the game, maybe partly because Osasuna have just relaxed a little, assuming the game is won. But also the goal giving them a bit of belief. Robert onto Malsa. He's got Pubil outside him. Plenty in the middle. Cross to the far post. Headed down. Morales. Oh, what a chance. And for once, El Comandante not able to rescue Levante. A header back across goal by Son. Morales controlling it well, but then on the half volley, sending it over the top. This was the goal, again, that gave them that confidence. Cantero to Soldado to Roger Marti to make it 3-1, and they've had chances since then to set up a real grandstand finale here. None better than the one we've just seen for Morales. I just wonder if Levante had started the game showing the same kind of commitment to trying to score goals that they are showing now. They only started doing it at 3-0 down. Took a rather passive approach in the first half. Did always look to be their game plan to keep it to 0-0 until half-time, which they nearly did. Then with almost the last kick of the half, Chimi Avila ruined that plan. Now ball over the top. The run of Oyer, who's not able to get there ahead of Cardenas. Well controlled by Malsa. Pepelu. Run being made down the left by Son. That's where the ball goes. He can't feed it inside to Roger. And Vidal will try to race down the right, but Son always favourite for that one. It's all rather unusually open for an Osasuna game at the moment. They're not defending as deep as they usually do. Fancy more goals. It's a slightly under-hit pass from Robert that forces Vezzo to hurry. A heavy touch from Manu Sanchez. Jorge Miramon and Enric Franquesa waiting to come on for Levante. As Ike Benito is fouled, that might be the cue for them to enter the action. Two wing-backs or full-backs. Probably be Son and Pubil that they replace. It's Son who goes, and it is the entrance of Miramon for Pubil as well. So two new fullbacks for the final stages. As a chance opens up for Benito, who snatches at it. This was the goal scored by Ante Budimir after some comical defending. 20% goal probability because the goalkeeper was closing him down, but he hit it well. Helped that it was on his stronger left foot. And that's the third goal this season for Budimir. A third goal of the game for Osasuna. Five minutes remaining. That goal from Roger, pulling one back for Levante, but it's going to be insufficient, surely. As that pass forward, angled by Franquesa, didn't give Soldado any chance. Darko Brasanac with only a 13% goal probability as he took on the shot for the third. But he and Budimir, the Serb and the Croat, both on target today. Able to dissect the game from the bench for the final stages. Offside, I think, against Cantero for the initial ball. Next game coming up for Osasuna is going to be a testing one for them after the international break at Real Betis. The next game for Levante is Villarreal at home. East Coast derby. Sanchez looking for Kike. Robert can send it back to his keeper. Now Morales for Malsa. Blocked by Vidal. Robert picks it up. Tidily done by Franquesa. A substitute trying to make headway, but sends the pass straight to Garcia, and now Oyer with space to exploit the space that Franquesa left. Kike waiting in the middle. The cross doesn't reach him as it's blocked by Vezzo at the expense of a corner for Osasuna. Been an early evening for the Osasuna fans to enjoy. They have a nice night out now in Pamplona as their team looks to put the seal on a big home win with a fourth goal. Roberto Torres with the cross. Oh, what a save. It's going to be followed up. Kike can't convert though. Cardenas looks to be hurt, struggling to his feet, and the referee stopping play. It looks to be his shoulder maybe, because he crashed into the post after he made the initial save. Heaven knows how he managed to make the follow-up save from Kike. Let's hope he's okay. It was Toro who had the head up, really well saved. Oh no, it was his head. I was hoping it was his shoulder, I guess. But the head, let's hope that's not a serious one for Cardenas. Well, and he's looking remarkably sprightly, remarkably quickly. The doctor just checking on any signs of concussion. But he's okay. It was a very good double save. Unfortunately for him, it doesn't mean anything. His team going to lose anyway. Keeping the score down, though. The referee's going to drop the ball, and Benito will try to take it on and win another corner. So there could be more work for Cardenas. As we head towards stoppage time. Inigo Perez with the corner. David Garcia heads that wide. It seems to be saying to Lucas Toro, "You're in my way." Toro, not to know that, was challenging for the ball. 4 minutes of added time to be played. And that flurry we saw from Levante, the increase in attacking threat really ended after the miss from Morales. Over the bar from close range, that could have made it an interesting conclusion. Perez feeling he was fouled there, but play going on. Cruz steps in to win it. He's looking very assured at centre-back, looking like he's played there forever. It's his first season there. Always a left-back in the past. The player who is the left-back, Manu Sanchez, whacks that away, but Cruz may well end up staying in that position. Now, we'll see. Alessio Lisci wasn't happy with the decision to only add 4 minutes. Levante will keep on trying. Franquesa challenged by Vidal. Torres, great ball inside, the break is on. Here's Kike, Vidal is in the middle. Kike wants to shot himself and it's pushed wide. Another save for Cardenas. Kike, it looks like it's not going to be his day in front of goal. He's had 4 attempts now. That one was heading for the bottom corner before the save. Another corner then. Watch out for the head of Garcia. Toro, Kike. Near post. It was actually Oyer who was closest to it. Benito. Oyer sends it wide. He was offside. Roger Martí only had a 12.3 goal probability according to our algorithm when he put that away. 3 defenders close to him and goalkeeper to beat as well. There was only a small area in the bottom left corner that he could send it out of the reach of Sergio Herrera, but he did just that. Good play by Toro. He's been totally commanding in the centre of midfield today. Player seems to be getting better all the time and has a big future, Lucas Toro. Kike working it wide and rumbling forward. He wants another chance to be created. Roberto Torres sends it back in field for Inigo. Manu Sanchez. Benito. Inigo again, and I'll just play keep ball now. Toro turning away from challenge. We saw in midweek 4 Spanish teams keep their European dreams alive. Well, Real Madrid having done it the previous week, obviously, but Villarreal, Atletico and Barcelona as well. And the bad news for Levante in that their final 9 games, they've got to play 3 of them. We've got Barcelona coming up, Villarreal and Real Madrid, as well as Sevilla and their local rivals Valencia and Real Sociedad. And they'll have to do so after a defeat here today at El Sadar. So the outlook is very, very bleak for Alessio Lisci's men. Osasuna continue their improved form in recent weeks. 2nd consecutive home win. Ante Budimir's 2nd goal really made sure that there would be no other outcome after the opener had come from Chimi Avila. Darko Brasinac then got on target to make it 3-0. And although one was pulled back by Roger Martí, it never looked to be enough for a Levante team who were well beaten and will maybe regret that they were so timid in the first half. Didn't really start playing as an attacking force until they were 3-0 down. All smiles for Chimi. A goal to celebrate a new contract. And Osasuna, with that win, move above Celta Vigo and climb into the top half of the table on 38 points. Levante stay with just 19, 7 points clear of the relegation zone, the drift I should say of getting out of it after a heavy defeat here. Osasuna 3, Levante 1. It's celebration time for the fans in this wonderful stadium. Earlier this week, a respected football stadium website had a vote that resulted in El Sadar being named the best stadium in the world in terms of architecture, and that's after the very impressive remodelling job done by the Pamplona club. It's a great place to watch football now, and especially when the team puts on a show like that. We'll hear from Roger Martí, some reaction, Levante's goal scorer. The first half was pretty close. They had took the only chance that they had. In the second half, they were on top of us. After the break, we reacted late, and it wasn't enough. We know that every game is a final. Every game is important. For us to get points today wasn't to be. We have to be much more aggressive. And we conceded this goal right at the end of the first half, which made things harder for us. We can't concede goals like this. We don't have much of a margin. Every game's a final. We've got to try and take positives every game, and today we couldn't do that. We knew that winning today would take us closer to an objective, and it's very difficult, but there's a lot of points still to play for, and until it's mathematical, we won't give up. Now we'll hear from Darko Brasinac, the scorer of the 3rd goal for Osasuna. We played a good game. We weren't accurate enough with our final pass in the first half, but the first goal gave us a lot, it's true. And in the second half we started very well, and after scoring the 2nd goal it was easier to play. We wanted to make our fans happy again, and after this break now coming up, we can train with calmness and prepare for the next games. I think our objective for the season is completed, but we have to be ambitious because there's a lot of points to play for, a lot of games left. We don't want to finish the season with bad feelings. We've got to have ambition to get as many points as possible and see where we arrive. But we can prepare for the next games with calmness, with objective achieved for the season. We try to put pressure on the opponent always high up the field. We don't always do it, but we want to play in the opposition.